Hey, checking the levels. It's G from Native Speakers Academy. Welcome to another Drive Cast. An opportunity to take a journey both physically and mentally from the alpha to omega of ideas. So, I was working with a client the other day, and we were discussing certain elements of business. One of the key elements of doing business with people, in fact, which is building trust. Without trust, nothing can grow. Without trust, the environment is too poor for anything to prosper. Think about your own experiences in life. Think about who you have trusted, mistrusted, distrusted. Think about friendships or even enemyships. So we all have experience of trust. And we all understand what it is, but how does it work? How does it affect our lives? And how can we work on it and our lives to make our lives better? Now, the three key fundamental auxiliary verbs in the English language. Oh, look, Hotel Lux has a new logo on top of it. What do you know? Right. That's what happens as you drive around. The three key... Oh my God. How am I going to get across this crossroads? Oh. Jesus Christ, this is fucking insane. There's no lights. Ah! Right. That's the whole point of Drivecast, I suppose. So, let me just explain. There was a crossroads. And what they do in the evenings is they turn off the traffic lights or leave them flashing orange so that it's a free-for-all. Yay! That's really wise. In a country where the average person drives like a chimpanzee. Well done, guys. Sorry about that. So, the fundamental auxiliary verbs be, do, and have are... I don't think they're structurally and foundationally in their specific roles by accident. I think it's I think there's a key reason for using these words in their positions, and we can get into structure another time. But these three key verbs basically map out the transitional process of trust, which is that if we take a business perspective, that what we're looking to do in a business is sell either to a customer or to another business, essentially. To sell a product, to sell a service, to sell an idea, to sell a solution. And so what we're looking at is an end result, which is have. We want to have something ourselves, and we want our partners also to gain something from this transaction or relationship action. And so have is the end result. The way that we get there is through action. Action is, of course, doing things, being proactive, being driven, making plans, being organized, having the necessary meetings, going through a process. But there's a more elemental aspect that happens even before we get to the action, which is, in order to begin any process, we have to be, or to be in the process of becoming, the type of person or kind of person who is going to be able to do the activities and achieve the desired result. We're going to need the correct mindset. Now, it doesn't matter if you're talking about a business plan or a personal relationship. These elements still apply. Consider the example of a person who is alone. Let's take a random example. Let's say someone is between the ages of 30 and 40, they're single, they don't have a partner, they're not sure what the future in their life holds. Maybe they've been unlucky with relationships in the past. Maybe they've lost a partner. Maybe they just didn't feel the need to have a partner. Doesn't really matter. But the situation is that if you don't have someone, you're going to grow up by yourself. So essentially everybody wants to have someone, unless they don't have the self-confidence, which is a self-confidence problem. It's not a positive choice. So you want to have someone to spend your time with. You want to have a relationship with somebody. And in order to meet that said or desired person, you got to put yourself in the right place. And both psychologically and physically, you've got to do things. You've got to get out. You've got to communicate with people. You got to find the right path, the right way. You've got to get around the kind of people or the kind of person that you'd like to meet. But before you even do that, you have to become the kind of person that you would like to meet. Because in terms of how personalities work and how people come together, there's a great effect of mirroring in all relationships. What this means is, if you want to meet a certain kind of person, You have to become that kind of person inside yourself. Because that kind of person is not going to want to spend time with you as you if you are not on the same level that they are as them. And in fact, nobody wants to step down in terms of relationship dynamics. So you've got to put yourself or pull yourself up to a higher level. You've got to be the kind of person that your future partner aspires to be if you want to enter into a positive relationship. And this is not just being the person for them, you need to be that person for yourself as well. It's not that you can say, oh well that's it, I've got what I want and I can give up now. It's the understanding that marriage is not the end, marriage is the beginning of the journey. It's the start of the hard work. Yesterday doesn't matter anymore. Today is all there is, because there is no tomorrow. And so you have to work hard right here, right now. And so the whole process of getting to trust people in relationships, which is, and we got on to trust. We were discussing trust because of this conversation with a client where he was talking about how he builds up trust or gets people to trust him and his company and his brand, and how it's a long, slow, complex process because if you trust someone instantly, then that's not how you can. That's not how trust works. Trust and friendship develop over time. You want to be my friend? Well, buying a beer is not going to make you my friend. Buying a beer is going to get me to say, hey, thank you. I don't drink, but thank you. And I will reciprocate at some point. But that's not friendship. That's a balance of barter and trade that exists in all relationships. And friendship is a long, slow process. The same way that, you know, you can't just knock two pieces of wood together and say, oh look, here's a ship. It is great relationships are always carefully constructed over long periods of time. There's no urgency in the creation of friendship. In fact, if there is urgency, it kind of suggests that things are not on a level. That something is wrong somewhere. That somebody wants something. And that want is going to be very, very self-destructive. The same way that it's the same kind of self-destruction in the be, do, and the have principle and process. Because Because if you're not you yourself becoming the person that's necessary to get the desired end result, then you are living with some kind of belief that you don't need to change. And that's ego. That's the dark voice in the back of your mind. The voice that tells you, hey, don't worry, it's okay to just hey, let it slide, people are just people, and you can move on. It's all right. Don't worry about it too much. Don't think about it too much. Everyone will forget about it in time. Don't I want to say don't listen, but there's no firewall in the human mind. So you can't not listen. You just have to be aware. You have to be observant. You have to understand what is happening. So, this process of trust is in fact the growth of understanding through the growth of people, through the need to change so that we have at least a little bit of uncertainty in our world. Especially as we I think need to live in a balance, a kind of seesaw between certainty and uncertainty. That which is certain, our habits provide structure, and that which is uncertain provides excitement and intensity and varying degrees of love and other emotions. So this trust or perhaps rapport, which is another way of describing how the process naturally evolves, that we develop a rapport by connecting with people, the simplest way of which is to talk with them about, I hate it when people throw cigarettes out the windows of their car. The whole thing is just psychologically wrong. I just had to swerve to avoid something which I wasn't sure what it was. I'm guessing it was a cigarette that was thrown out of the window. Could have been something else that was thrown out of the window, I suppose. the whole thing about driving down the road, smoking a cigarette, poisoning your environment, poisoning yourself, and then throwing the poison out of the window to cause as much damage as one can because you don't want the shit in your car, so you just throw the shit out for somebody else to. I don't know. That has to be close to the single most primitively stupid thing that a person can do. Or would you do that anywhere? You only do it because you can't get caught, because you're moving fast. Because you wouldn't do it at home. You wouldn't do it in your home. You wouldn't just open the window and throw your rubbish out the window. Because somebody might see you and somebody would know where the rubbish came from. It came from you. You only do it because you think that you can't get caught. Because you're traveling at a certain speed down the road and no one's going to stop or do anything. Man, these people really need to learn some basic lessons. They really need. Some people have a long way to go. So far they haven't gone anywhere at all. There we go. That's my thought. Trust is built on a principle of be, do, and have. Use that, build your rapport, develop your relationships, take steps forward. There we go.